As usual, with people who have nothing but hate and contempt in their heart for disenfranchised demographics, such as the network of sexual predators that is called Alexander Myers and Brandon Q. How long until indecisive hate monger Alexander Myers, most notable for donating to organizations that have funded hate groups? Alexander Myers is a known documented donator to organizations that have funded the very supposed racism that Alexander Myers claims to be fighting against. As usual with hateful racist, such as what's it called, non-pale majority demographic member Alexander Myers, has donated money to organizations that have funded the so-called racism that she claims to be fighting against. So, quite honestly, in a situation like this, where your entire worldview has been definitively handed a slice of humble pie, really it's time for people like Alexander Myers to retire in disgrace. I really think Alexander Myers should retire in disgrace from talking about anything. Because Alexander Myers has been misled to the degree that, there's really no other option. There's really no other option for people like Alexander Myers, who have been wrong their entire career on YouTube. There's really no choice for them other than to retire in disgrace, because no one buys the grift anymore. No one buys the grift that Alexander Myers isn't a Mossad agent, that Alexander Myers hasn't donated to organizations that have literally funded the very racism she claims to be combating on the internet. I mean, Alexander Myers at this point is in a professional wrestling match with her talking to herself. Alexander Myers at this point is in a professional wrestling match where she's competing at WrestleMania for the world title against herself. And this all started when Alexander Myers first met Mossad and became a Mossad agent after leaving before she joined the pornography industry. The pornography industry is where Alexander Myers made enough money to fund herself, or to fund the racism that she claims to be fighting against. If you wanted to know where Alexander Myers got the money to fund the racism that she claims to be fighting against, it would be when she first became a Mossad agent and started having intercourse with men for money on camera. That would be when Alexander Myers got the money to fund the very racism that she claims to be fighting against to an audience that isn't paying attention on YouTube. Again, if you want to know where Alexander Myers got the money to fund the racism that she claims to be fighting against, it would be when Alexander Myers first became a Mossad agent and started having intercourse with men for money on camera. And if you want proof that Alexander Myers is a demiurge that funded the very racism that she claims to be fighting against, you need look no further. You need look no further than the fact that she's childless, like many of the people who are thoroughly betting against you and invested in your demise. Like all people in society that are thoroughly invested against you and actively working towards your demise, Alexander Myers is childless. Therefore, she has no vested interest in the outcome of anything that she's swearing you need to act this way about, swearing you need to act that way about, swearing you need to view the world through this lens, swearing you need to view the world through that lens. Like most people trying to control your thoughts and opinions, she is childless. Therefore, it would only make sense that she is literally fully financially invested in your demise and working against you. Like all people fully invested in your demise and working against you, Alexander Myers is childless and has no vested interest in the outcome of anything that she's attempting to actively influence. Because she won't be here to live through it or experience it. Let me say that again. Like all people literally thoroughly invested in your demise that are actively working against you and conspiring to bring the end to the very nation that you live in, Alexander Myers is childless. Therefore, she has no vested interest in anything that she is trying to sway. From a sociological standpoint, from a societal standpoint, Alexander Myers has no vested interest in the outcome of anything that she's attempting to influence your opinion on. Sorry, there was someone acting like there was a need to drive exactly parallel with me for prolonged periods of time. So I asked him the conclusion. I asked him the logical conclusion to the question that he was asking me, which is, how long exactly are you willing to try to drive parallel with me unnecessary amounts of times? I started asking him the logical question, are you going to go 100 miles an hour with me to stay parallel with me for an unnecessary amount of time? Like, how fast are you willing to go to drive parallel with me for an unnecessary amount of time on a fucking 2-lane road? I just had to ask him the logical conclusion to that question, and the answer was about 75 miles an hour. The answer was 75 miles an hour, and he had a car that had the means to go faster than mine, probably. The person had a car that had the means to go faster than mine, and his heart just wasn't in it. He just wasn't committed to actually following my car for an unnecessary amount of time. Around the 75 miles an hour mark. Oh, I love how employers that are full of assholes, by the way. I love how employers that are full of assholes try to be like, it's company policy that you can't have a weapon here. What do you think, I'm gonna leave it in my fucking car? Do you think that I'm gonna walk around every day unarmed because you don't want me to bring a weapon into the place that I spend more time at than anywhere? You want me to be defenseless 90% of the time that I exist because you want to determine that I can't be armed in the place that you want to run around acting like an asshole all day at. That it tickles me to death, because the places that have the no weapons in the workplace policy, where they try to enforce it, or they try to post up little signs, those are the places that are full of people that can't watch their fucking mouths when it comes to an administration standpoint. Those are the places that are full of people that can't watch their fucking mouths. And I'm not going to sit here and let you talk to me like you're my fucking father or something. Like you're my fucking biological dad or something like that. You're not going to talk to me like you're a fucking disappointed parent scorning a child and then expect me to, number one, not say something back to you, and number two, not be armed. You're not gonna expect me to not be armed. You're not gonna expect me to not be armed when I talk back to you. Once you try to talk to me like you're a disappointed parent scorning a child. That's never gonna happen. You might as well move everything to India if you think that's gonna happen. If you think that's gonna happen while I exist in my lifetime in the place that I'm born, you're better off, wholeheartedly better off, just moving everything to India and fucking Pakistan and Vietnam. I'm sure in Vietnam and India and Pakistan, where when you put a sign up telling people that they can't be armed while at the building they spend more time at than anywhere else, you can't defend yourself at my warehouse. You can't defend yourself at my warehouse because I have a bunch of white male trader administrative class office staff that can't control their fucking mouths, and they think they have a right to mouth off to people that have never been paid the standard of living without people talking shit to them back. And then when you talk shit back to them, they're going to try to call an airstrike in on the building through the local sheriff's department. Through the local sheriff's department, they're gonna be so offended when another white man talks back to them that they're gonna call the police immediately and try to call an airstrike in on the building. But you can't be armed in the unlikely event that they try to attack you when you talk to the administrative class that doesn't know how to fucking that doesn't know how to fucking control themselves. When you talk back to the administrative class of Florida that doesn't know how to fucking control themselves and think they can walk around a state of heavily armed people trying to talk shit to the people that are poorest in the country, we put a sign up that says that you can't be armed in this building, so you better be following that sign. It's like, no, absolutely fucking not. I'm gonna be armed every single day of my goddamn life, and your administrative class is gonna have to learn to watch their fucking mouths, or you might as well bring everything over to India and Pakistan. You might as well keep offshoring everything, because you're going to need to do it before I work for you if you're going to hire people on the administrative end that can't watch their fucking mouths. Here, let me say that again. You might as well keep offshoring everything to India, Pakistan, and Vietnam. If you think a day's gonna come, if you think a day's gonna come where your prissy little administrative office staff are gonna be able to talk to me however they want without me talking back to them however I want. And you don't gotta wonder, okay? You don't gotta wonder if I'm bluffing or not about how I'm not going to contribute to society at all. And this is what you are witnessing. See, a lot of people seem really confused about what's actually going on in society. What's actually going on in society is you have a generation of people that they thought were going to be complicit in being abused and neglected by the system. You have a generation of people, and I'm talking about people like me. They raised a whole generation of pale people like me, thinking they were going to be able to use and abuse us however they see fit, and we were just going to be complicit in it like the rest of the world. See, the rest of the world, your non-pale majority family, your Alexander Myers' family, Brandon Q's family, for instance, all of IP2 Chat's family, they are okay with being complicit in being mistreated. And I'm not. I'm not okay with being complicit in being mistreated. I'm not going to be mistreated my entire life. And you've witnessed the outcome of what I'm going to do to society for all of my days until I am treated properly. That's what you're witnessing, okay? What you're witnessing is a refusal by the people that they thought they were going to be able to treat however they wanted. You are witnessing a refusal by the people they thought they were going to be able to treat however they wanted to be mistreated. And it's going to continue to happen until I'm treated correctly. It's going to continue to happen until I'm treated correctly, okay? There's never going to be a day, I don't care how ugly people think I am, I don't care how old people think I am, I don't care how misshapen people think I am, there's never going to come a day where I'm going to be unarmed in the workplace and there's going to be some guy pretending that he's my fucking father and that he's able to scold me. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to be scolded in the workplace. I'm never going to be mistreated in the workplace ever, when the workplace isn't even offering me the standard of living financially. That's where you fucked up. Where you fucked up is you're not even doing the bare minimum for me as an employer. I'm not going to listen to some fucking idiot you hired that thinks he's going to be able to run around any workplace talking to me like he's my fucking father. Okay, that's where you're mistaken, and that's why what's going on in society is going on in society. Okay, never going to be unarmed in the workplace, ever. Don't give a fuck what their policy is. Never going to be unarmed in the workplace. You're never going to hire someone and implement someone in a workplace that's going to talk to me like they think they're my fucking father. And if you think that's going to happen, you should take all your happy ass businesses over to China, where there's a homogenous group of people that are okay with being mistreated and refuse to do anything about it.